Okay, so we're just doing Hilchos Deios per Daled, and the question will be, what percentage of this will be of value to us? I estimate a high percentage, and Chaim, who decided not to come today.
Coincidence.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's kind of feeling out of it. Seems to have a lower estimate.
Maybe that's because he didn't follow these laws.
So we'll find out. And I think the approach we should take is each halacha. This is kind of different. I mean, we do this in general, but I'm saying each halacha we should say, what is the takeaway for us? Okay, because certainly we're not just like following this to the T. Okay. All right. So he did the last point he got through saying was that basically all of our actions should be intended for the sake of knowing God. And then if you do that, then everything is for the service of God. If you're eating, you're drinking, you're doing business, you're sleeping, all of it is for the service of God if it's all for the sake of knowing God. Okay. So then from there, he says, since, already we learned something. Since the maintenance of the body, or like havayas haguf is, existence of the body, bari v'shalim in a healthy and in intact state is midarche Hashem. What do you see from that?
Be healthy.
Darke Hashem, though, framing it as Darke Hashem. I think that's interesting.
Well, he's putting it in the same lashon of the halach b'tracha.
Right. So in what sense is keeping? Oh, let's see. He'll go on. Shahari ashar sheyavin oyeda v'hu chole, because it is impossible for a person to understand or know when he is sick, meaning to be involved in knowledge and comprehension when he's sick. A person needs to distance himself from things that destroy the body or harm the body. And he needs to conduct himself with things or accustom himself to things that cause health. And I don't know exactly what machalimim is. Doesn't mean make him dream, not like chalom. By the way, I printed out because I knew that there'd be some weird terms here. I printed out the English just in case we could consult it, so I don't have to keep on going back and forth.
Also, take a green dictionary.
Yes, good point. Thank you for letting me know. It says helps the body become stronger. Yes, yeah.
Just a question though, is when he says it's impossible to understand or know something for sick, like, is that true? Meaning it definitely is harder.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's impossible.
Right. Yeah. I don't think he means it in like a black and white sense that you like either can or can't know, but I think he means that. Oh, nice. That that it's impossible for health to not affect your ability to know Hashem.
Okay.
I think that's probably how it's said. Yeah.
So
my question is like this: is everything in Hilchos Deios is framed as Darche Hashem, right? And Darche Hashem is, for example, God is called merciful, so too we should be merciful. He's called Anav, we should be Anav. How is healthy body Derech Hashem? God doesn't have a body.
Right. Best way to serve Hashem, but then he would have said that.
Yeah.
Like, why did he say me
Right.
Hashem?
Yeah. So obviously you're gonna have to expand it a little bit, but let's take it in terms of God being merciful to his creations, or God being kind to his creations, or gracious. So in what way does taking care of your body fit into the framework of
good health will lead, or I don't know, good health will lead to good midos. Like I don't know if that's
right.
true.
The midos, if anything, are instrumental to
Good health.
something else, yeah, or not to good health, but to proper life, yeah. Go on.
That God set up a system where that's designed for people to be healthy.
Yeah.
And for all living things to be
to
be healthy and sustained and perpetuated, and be able to function well.
Yes, I think that's it. Is God wants health and wellness for all organisms. Is a good example. Is he provides everything with all the food and nutrients and water that they need, and also he gives you an immune system that cures you, and provides like mother animals with the thing that they need to like provide for their young in a way that's healthy. So that's already a different way to frame your health, is that, and again, I like, this is a very profound point, because I think in other religions, like health is not part of the religion. Rambam is framing it that health is part of the religion because it is a philosophical act to take care of your body because that's what Ratzon Hashem is, for you to have a body that's intact so you can be involved in knowledge of God.
Right.
That's already like a profound thing.
Right. And if you're not doing that, you're doing something wrong.
Exactly. Yeah, you're doing something wrong. It's not just you're doing something impractical, or it's not just that you're harming
Right.
your body, you're going against God's will, you know?
Right.
Yeah. And also, like, you see, I mean, again, like, I don't think it's a secret at this point, but like, the frum world is not necessarily so good at taking care of their health. Like, you
Right.
know, like, I mean, now it's becoming more in vogue, but like eating healthy and like exercising and like, I don't know, taking precautions against like virus, like, you know, it's like you know, that's viewed as something that is not in the realm of religion and not in the realm of Judaism. And this is in the realm of Judaism, the way the Rambam is presenting it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just in the realm, but like you're actively going against the Ratzon Hashem.
Exactly.
You're
Yeah.
doing things that are like clearly something that's either damaging your body or clearly something that's not going to be helping your
Right.
body.
And that's actually a different perspective as well. Or you're reminding me of a different perspective that I didn't even mention, is like, we hold, I mean, and the Rambam doesn't say this, but I think it's reflected. We don't hold that our body belongs to us.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
like, you have to do whatever you want with your body, you
Right.
know? So when you destroy your body, that's destroying a creation of Hashem. Like,
Right.
you know, yeah.
So, are you saying it's Isser D'Oraisa to eat cha?
I'm not saying that. Yeah. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, we'll find out. Yeah. Okay. I think that's good. Oh, I was going to say one more thing also, is if I'm right about my theory on the third parak, that the third parak is outlining the fundamental value systems of Torah.
Mhm.
So then this not taking care of your body goes against one of the fundamental values, because everything should be geared towards avodas Hashem and
Right.
Hashem, and this is going against it
Right.
if you don't do that.
And because you were given everything that you need to
Yeah.
do it, and like you're just choosing to do something else.
Yeah.
And you remind me of the third parak. You're saying the fourth parak is building on the third.
Yeah, fourth parak is, and that's even how he starts it off, right? Choil v'havayas haguf, etc. Okay, Aleph 2. L'olam lo yochel adam ela kishu ra'av. Person should never eat unless he's hungry.
Boy.
V'lo yishte ela kishu tzameh. And he should not drink unless he's thirsty. They didn't know about hydration back then. Yeah. Yeah, there is a diet like this, by the way, that one of my mom's friends does, that I think they call it intuitive eating, which is that like the theory is, and this is kind of like IFS but for the body.
Okay.
The theory is that your body, like, okay, let's put it this way. This is definitely true of animals in the wild. Animals in the wild, their body like knows what it needs, and like, how do they like eat? By like listening to their body. The problem is that human beings are corrupted by several things. Two main categories are like fantasies and psychological reasons to eat, you know, and then the other one is like lots of artificial foods that really are not natural to the human. So like, there's this diet, I don't know how viable it is, but it is an idea that basically you should eat whatever your body tells you to eat, and whenever your body tells you to eat. And this reminds me of that.
Slippery slope.
It is, yeah. That's one thing to point out, by the way, is I think it goes without saying from the beginning of the second parak that the Rambam is talking here about a normal person.
Mm-hmm.
There is such a thing as people, like he's mentioned before, people who, what do we call it? Pika? People who eat like rocks and dirt, you know?
Right.
There is such a thing as like people having sicknesses of the soul that manifest in the way they relate to food. I mean, he mentioned also people who are gluttonous, people who like don't take care of their body, you know? So like, he's only talking about the normal stuff here.
Right.
Okay. V'al yashpeh nekavav afil. Well, so back though, I think it still is like when people eat just as an activity to do, that is not healthy. Although I do think that if a person knows that their body needs something, then they should eat. But I'm not saying based on the fact that just that you're hungry. Like you could be hungry for different reasons, you know, like,
Yeah. Like I know that there's a phenomenon that obese people will will be really, really hungry,
Mhm.
and like it's not healthy for them to be eating so much, but like their body is like giving the signals.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess the takeaway principle here is your eating should be based on needs, not on wants. But then the only question now is how do you determine your needs?
Mhm.
Rambam's saying it's appetite. And I think that there are lots of things that complicate that, you know,
Yeah.
but it should be need based, not just like desire based.
Yeah.
The al yashta and the kava afila rega achad, you should not, if you have to go to the bathroom, you shouldn't hold it in even for a moment. Ela Kozman doesn't mean you could just go right now. You just leave and go to the bathroom. Yeah. Ela Kozman Shetzarich Lahashin or Lahasech Es Raglav Yamod Miad. Okay, I've never seen that euphemism before, but okay. Kozman Shetzarich Lahashin. Anytime you need to urinate, or Lahasech Es Raglav. Does that literally mean anoint your feet? That's got to be a euphemism, right?
I'm sure it's euphemism.
Yeah, but I've never heard that before. Yeah, they translate it in here as move their bowels. Okay, I mean that was what I would guess it would mean. Yamod miyad, you get up immediately and go and do that. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that, I mean, it's interesting you put that in one halacha.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
it seems like two totally different things.
Yeah, it does. Right. But I guess the control system begins with eating and
Right.
But
Yeah, maybe not two
yeah.
totally different.
Yeah,
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 it's
yeah.
definitely
It's not. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like breathing and going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there like any medical basis for that, or like?
I assume that there is a medical basis that, I mean, I know you can cause yourself harm by holding in when you have to go to the bathroom. I don't know about afilu rega echad, and you also have to remember, see, okay, another thing that makes this parak difficult to deal with is that is that, is that society was different back then, and like the ordeal of going to the bathroom, it was an ordeal. There weren't like indoor plumbing and bathroom. You had to like,
They still had outhouses.
you had to like go sometimes out of the city, and like find a place. And so like the temptation, and you also had to like stop working in a way that was disruptive. So like the temptation to hold in when you have to go to the bathroom, like that might be a thing, like I was okay, this is a random example. When I was doing Arthur Shulchan Yomi and they had all the halachos going to the bathroom, like weird example, like there's a halacha, and I heard this quote before. There's a halacha that you shouldn't urinate near your bed. So I'm picturing someone has like, I don't know, like a cancer or whatever, and like instead of like going to the bath, and I read the halacha and no, it means like there were dirt floors and you shouldn't like urinate on the floor next to your bed.
And like now it would be fine to urinate into the
That's what the Arthur Shulchan says, but yeah, but like I was not thinking. The point is, I was not thinking in the framework of like what it meant to go to the bathroom back then, and like it's very easy to slip into like anachronisms of like projecting stuff backwards. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a different thing where it was like that.
Yeah.
So I was learning in Gemara, and it was talking about how when you go to the bathroom, depending on like what you're doing, you shouldn't either like face like basically north or south if you're north or south.
Yeah, I heard this also.
Yeah. And I was like, I wonder if this is like, I wonder like what's going on. And then the Gemara is like, basically if there's walls, then it's not a thing. But like,
yeah, the presumption was that you're going to the bathroom. There's no walls. Right?
Yeah, but I was like wondering like why I've never heard this, because it seemed like it was like a real thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Also, just on what we're saying, I feel like in terms of the going to the bathroom being a whole ordeal, like it's possible that you could just say that like he didn't mean like literally like 1 second, but because it was such an ordeal, like he had to stress like no, like it's much more important than you think it is, and like you should take the effort to go and do what you have to do.
I agree with that reading. Yeah.
Because you might want to like wait until like then.
Right. And if he said like, oh, you could wait up to this long, people will be like, okay, this is I waited up to this long and maybe a little more. Like,
right. Yeah, definitely. Oh, also there's another thing, which is that we shouldn't treat these like halachos. I mean, obviously they're not halachos in that sense, but it's speaking of the ideal also.
Right.
Anything in health, there's going to be a whole range of stuff, and so he's going to express it in terms of the ideal. But it's not like even the first thing. Lolam lo yochal adam ela kashu ra'iv. Let me just check something here. And actually, I'll okay. Is that like for educational purposes or yeah? I'm just looking up in species. What the Rambam says about if you're not hungry. I think he does mention it. Oops, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong. No, I'm looking at the right place. Hello. Oh, I did something funny. Oh, wait for Isaac.
Again?
No. I did something funny in case we needed it, but I just reminded myself of it. This is really dumb. Okay, this is really dumb.
Should this be on recording?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
What would that say if you were here?
Is that an actual recording?
I was listening to Rapita here, and I was like, oh, that's a really good, we need to preserve that sound effect.
Oh, that's very.
And I just
funny.
said that now, so I was thinking about that.
You gotta like get that on your computer, just randomly.
I know,
play it.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, here we go. So, Chayav Adam. This is in Hilchos Shabbos Perek Lamed Halacha Tes. Chayav Adam la'echol shalosh sudas b'Shabbos. Person's obligated to eat 3 meals on Shabbos. Achas arvis, v'achas shabbos, v'achas b'mincha. One in the evening, one in the morning, and one at mincha. Which, by the way, is I'm under the impression, I've heard people quote it differently. I'm under the impression that this is why we ideally are machmir to eat our morning Shabbos meal before chatzos, because he says specifically evening, morning, and afternoon. You know, like the 3 times of the day, not just 3 meals total. But
And this is talking specifically about Shabbos.
yeah, Shabbos.
Right.
Yeah, because the normal thing was back then they would eat 2 meals on the regular day and then 3 on Shabbos. And on Shabbos is the obligation. On regular day it's optional. But tarafli hizahir b'shalosh sudas elo shelo yifkot mehem klal. You need to be careful with these 3 meals and not diminish from them at all. I mean, you have to have 3 meals every Shabbos. Vafilu ani hamisparnas mina tzedakah so it shalosh sudas. Even if you're poor and you're supported by tzedakah, you eat 3 meals. Now this is the line I was going to get to. If a person was sick from the abundant eating, like let's say it's the winter and you just finished lunch and like you have a couple hours left and you can't eat anymore, or if you are fasting, which it's usually usher to fast on Shabbat, but if you have certain circumstances, then you fast. Then you're exempt from the three meal requirement. Well, it is interesting, right? He says you're exempt from 3 meals. You would think that you're only exempt from one of them,
right?
But I think it's as an institution, the mitzvah is to eat 3 meals. So
once you're exempt from one, like
it sounds like it, then yeah, it's weird though, right? I mean, that should
but
be
like also presumably the only circumstances where you would be exempt is either when you're not having any of them because you're fasting for certain reasons, or when you're too full to have the last one.
The last one, right? Yeah.
Like because otherwise they needed to eat food. I mean, like if they're not fasting and they're not full, then they're just a regular person eating food. Presumably they had breakfast.
Right. Lunch. But I guess not the nafkamina, but the when you said all 3 of them. So it sounds like if you missed the last one because you're too sick, you are exempt, but you have not done the kiyum of shalosh sudas. Yeah.
Yeah.
But sorry, kol seuda mishloshin al hayayin. Again, this is why this is I don't want to call it a chumrah of the Rambam, it's a sheet of the Rambam, but for us it's a chumrah because I don't think people do this. You need to establish each of the 3 meals on wine. Okay, I mean, even though you're not making kiddush at the third, even though you're not making kiddush at the 3rd meal, then you are. Someone just logged into my Zoom, whose name I don't recognize. Let's see. They're connecting to audio. Simcha with an H. We'll find out who this is, or they'll find out who we are.
Yeah, 2 H's?
Nope, 1 H.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see who this is. Maybe. Okay. I don't know what this is, but anyway. You need to make the meal on 2 loaves. Okay.
Where are you reading from?
In Hilchos Zmanim, Hilchos Shabbos and Sefer Zmanim Lamed Tes. Okay. Yeah. Same thing on Yom Tov that you eat 3 meals. Okay. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because I don't know if you were in here when I just said this. He says if you're sick from the abundant eating, or you're fasting, then you're patur from shalosh sudos. But the Rambam just said that you should only eat when you're starving.
Right.
But here he's drawing the line at apparently, let's say you are full, but you're not sick.
Right.
So should you eat or should you not? So I'm saying that Hilchos Shabbos is actual halacha, and it would trump this Hilchos Deios Perek Daled thing. Meaning, here the Rambam is giving you health guidelines. It's not like this is like a halachic thing, and it certainly doesn't override other halachos.
Right, and the health guidelines are presumably during the week because Shabbos is different. Like during the week they have 2 meals, Shabbos they have 3 meals, but it's a totally different institution.
But you think, I mean, right, that is true, but presumably it's not like whole. It's not just during the week. It's for all time, but it's just that Hilchos Shabbos is like layer on top of it. Yeah,
it's not like Hilchos Shabbos like the second half of the law doesn't apply.
Right.
Yeah, and look, even truthfully, like, well, I guess that's a different thing. I was gonna say going to the bathroom stuff, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, like this is just me thinking out loud. I don't know, for example, if a Kohen is doing avoda and he suddenly has to go to the bathroom, can he just like drop everything and run? Like, I just don't know how that works. Yeah.
I'm remembering a Gemara in Horios
Mhm.
that you can step over the heads of Talmidim, like to leave the base medrash.
Mhm.
Like you urinate because that's something that you like can't control,
Right.
like when you have to. But
Yeah.
if you have to anoint your feet, then
We got to bring that into everyday conversation now.
Yeah.
That's such a gross way to. It's a gross euphemism. You know? I don't want to anoint my feet.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's anoint because it's like fragrant oil. Like that's what you do when you anoint. You know,
Yeah.
like you're like you're going to the opposite extreme. Like, that's a common form of euphemism where you go to the opposite extreme. The feet part's a little weird. Yeah. Sorry, but yeah, you were saying if you need to anoint your feet.
Yeah. Then you like can't step over,
It's not.
because you should have done it before, and like it's not kosher to the Talmudim.
Like parents say when people go on the car ride on vacation.
Yeah.
Why didn't you go before we left?
Well, I didn't have to go.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, next. Yeah.
Just quickly on the having to have wine at all 3 meals. So by Shalosh Shudas, you're not making a bracha on it, but he's saying
No, you
well,
make a
I
bracha
mean,
on it, but it's just not kiddush.
So you just make like
Yeah.
a regular bracha on it, and then
Yeah.
and you're supposed to have it.
Right. Which truthfully, if you're going to make 100 brachas on Shabbos, then it helps for that also.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Lo yochal ad shetis. And also, I think there's an idea of being kovea seuda on wine makes it a fancy seuda, so that might have something to do with it also.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out why you're talking about being kovea on wine.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have said that as soon as you came in.
Yeah.
All right. Lo yochal adam ad shetis male kreso. Wait. Lo yochal adam ad shetis male kreso. Oh, I mean, you shouldn't. Okay.
Yeah.
I read it as he shouldn't eat until he fills his stomach, meaning he shouldn't eat until he fills his stomach. I mean, don't eat to the point where you've filled your stomach. Okay.
Yeah.
Ella yifkos, but you should reduce the amount that you eat. Tomo revia misava aso, like a fourth of how much you need to be satiated. So let's say you need like 1 unit of food to be satiated. Eat 3/4 of that unit. Okay. Now, so how do you implement this? This is a good takeaway also.
You should eat until you're not hungry, but not until you're stuffed.
So that would be one way to do it. But the fact that he gives a measure of a fourth or like 3/4, I think indicates something else.
You should like be in a specific quantity.
Yeah, I think he means you should be aware of how much you typically need in order to be full. And like get down to the quantitative level, because otherwise you would just state it in terms of don't eat until you are super full, just until you remove the hunger. Like why else would he quantify it? A fourth of how much you need to be satiated.
Right.
So that is an interesting principle there. Below yishtem mayim b'soch hamazon, you should not drink water while you are in the middle of the meal. Ela ma'at umazug b'yayin, just a little bit and mix it with wine. Yeah. And this is the type of thing I just don't know the facts here, because I know even in a lot of countries now, water is just not safe to drink. You have to have alcohol. That's why in Britain, that was the whole thing of like the main drink I know was beer, and it was light beer, but like because that would kill all the germs, so like people couldn't drink water. I have no idea what the water situation was in the time of Chazal, in the time of the Rambam, a little bit and mix it with wine. And then when the food starts to become digested in his innards, then he should drink whatever he wants to drink. But he shouldn't drink a lot of water. Even when the food is digested. And you shouldn't eat, meaning you shouldn't start eating until you check yourself very, very well. Maybe you need to go to the bathroom. Meaning, I guess don't start eating if you need to go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom first, right. Which you should have done based on halacha 1 if you were really following that. Yeah.
Right. It's also, again, it's possible they just didn't know about this at that time, but like the amount of control that he's just assuming everybody has, and like most people have a certain varying level of control over their like bowel movement.
Yeah.
But like there's also a large, percentage of people that just don't.
Right.
And like he's just asserting like this assumption that like stop and think if you have to, like maybe you have to go, but you can't.
Right. But here's the thing though. I
maybe-
mean, this is the thing also is like let's say, for example, people weren't eating all these processed foods and like they were eating like whole grain stuff, you would be a lot more regular, as they say,
Right. We don't live in like a society that promotes like regulating your eating.
Right.
Definitely not regulating based on like certain staple foods.
Right.
It's literally just like.
Also, I'll tell you, okay, I'll give you two examples, one about me and one not about me.
Okay.
The example about me is teaching, the example not about me is prison. In prison, they, when they like only let people out or like let people go to the bathroom at certain times, like I'm not saying like in American prisons, but like in other things or in the military, like they say that your body gets onto this thing. Let's say they only let you out once in the morning, once in the evening, you just will automatically regulate. You won't have to go to the bathroom unless it's something crazy. And I'm seeing this for teaching of like, when for most of my years of teaching, I would always have one day where I would teach 7 out of 8 periods. And like, I literally wouldn't have time to go to the bathroom.
Right.
Except before the morning classes, during lunch, and like afternoon break, and at the end of the day,
Right.
And obviously, if I like drank a lot of water, then I would rarely have to like excuse myself from class to go to the bathroom. But like
that's the thing that he saes, like that's totally out of your control. Like meaning that would be fine.
Right. But what I'm saying though is that the routine that you get in for the day has the potential to establish when your body signals that it needs to go to the bathroom. And I'm saying that like because it's a classic question of like students wonder, like, do teachers ever go to the bathroom?
Right.
And the answer is yes, but like our bodies are regulated to like only have to do it when we're not teaching. And like it's weird. Like I didn't do that by control. It's just it falls into the routine of my day. And so the reason I'm bringing this here is people, let's say, would get up with the rooster crow, like go to the bathroom or whatever, and then like maybe they would work for like a ton of hours and like not have to go to the bathroom, and then they would eat their meal and they would, it was like,
it was so hard to get to the bathroom.
Right.
They would just adjust that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I like. Just forgot what I was going to say. Okay.
All right, interrupt me if you remember it.
Yeah.
All right. And I have no idea what he's talking about, the water and drinking when and stuff and whatever, during the meal, after the meal. Okay. Lo yochal adam ad shehalech. All I do know, by the way, is that people definitely have a lot of feelings and thoughts about what you drink for digestion. Like I mentioned this, that, people always ask on Shabbos if I want tea. And then sometimes when I say I don't want tea, they say, do you not like tea or whatever, and I do mention that, like, growing up, like my, Chinese people drink tea during the meal. Mm-hmm. And I think Indian people also drink tea during the meal, and like in America, or I don't know if this is I assume it's from Britain, people drink tea after the meal, and like, I feel like either side will say, oh, it's for digestion. I have no idea whether there's a scientific basis for that. Like, but like lots of stuff about what you should drink and when, and
I remember what I was going to say, just in terms of like getting on a schedule and regulating yourself.
Yeah.
I think being on a consistent schedule definitely does that to people, but definitely what you're eating also. Meaning it's both of those things. Like in both of your examples, the people that are in prison or in the army or whatever it is, like they're eating the same thing presumably every single day.
That's also true, right?
And like you were also presumably eating like consistently like the same kind of things. So like when you do that and you pair it together with like some kind of like rigid schedule, it's inevitable that your body will.
That's also true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a good question also of like, that's a good paradigm of, how should I say this? There are norms that you have to take care of in a specific way. And then there are things you can do to create the healthy norms.
Right.
Those are like two regulatory like things. Like, let's say, for example, like, I think he's going to get to sleep in a little while, but let's say like, not he's going to get to sleep, but like, he's going to talk about sleep, like get enough sleep, getting enough sleep will have certain effects on you. And like, you have to take control of when you go to sleep in order to do that. However, there are also things that you could be doing that will promote or impair whether you get a good sleep. Like if you're drinking caffeine late in the day, or if you're like on your computer or whatever, that's before you go to sleep, then that'll disrupt your ability to get into that healthy norm.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. L'olam kishayochal. That's where we're at. Gimel. L'olam kishayochal. No, we're at Bez 2. Lo yochal adam Ad shehalech kodem achila ad sheyaskil gufo lachom. Person should not eat until he walks before eating to the point where his body starts to get hot. Or he should do work, or he should exert himself through some other exertion.
This is some sort of workout before you.
Some sort of pre-meal workout, yeah. Klalo shel davar, the sum of the matter. Ye'ane gufo, he should afflict his body. That's weird. V'yiga b'chol yom baboker ad sheyaskil gufo lachum, and exert himself every morning, every day in the morning until his body begins to become hot. V'yishkot na'at, and then he should rest for a little bit. Ad shetzis yashiv nafsho, until his soul is settled. V'yochel, and then eat. V'im rachas b'chamin achar sheyaga, if he took a hot bath after he exerted himself, that's great. Show him at and then you should wait a little bit and eat. Yeah. Okay. So it sounds like a fun leisurely morning, take a morning stroll.
Well, I think a thing that is a corollary to this.
Yeah.
It is good to do a workout every day.
Yeah.
Like to physically exert yourself every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's better to do that before you eat because I'm not exactly sure why, but I know that is a like.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. That's a good point. Lolam kashil adam yeshiv b'makomo o yate al smol. When a person eats, he should always sit in his place or lean to the left. V'lo yichalef, v'lo yirkav, v'lo yigav, v'lo yizazea gufo, v'lo yitayel ad she'is akal matan shemeyav. He should not walk, nor ride, nor exhaust himself, meaning while he's eating, nor yizazea gufo, make his body tremble. I think that's what that means. Shake his body. V'lo yitayel, and he shouldn't stroll ad she'is akal matan shemeyav until the food has been digested in his innards. Oh, so it's not while he's so the first two statements were about how you should be situated when you eat, right? But then now it's saying you shouldn't walk, ride, exert yourself, shake your body, or take a stroll until your food has been digested. Anyone who takes a stroll after he eats, or he exerts himself after he eats, maybe he's going to bring upon himself bad and harsh diseases. Yeah. So that seems to be conventional wisdom of like being involved in strenuous activity right after eating. That's not gonna go down well. Yeah. Okay, fine.
Or moving around while eating too much.
Yes. Yeah, on the roller coaster. Okay. Shena, sleep. Yeah. Hayom v'halayla, day and night. Arba v'esrim shas. There are 24 hours. Dai lo l'adam lishon shlishan. It is enough for a person to sleep for a third of them. Shu shmona shas, which is 8 hours. Does that check out in modern?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
8 to 9 hours of sleep opportunity.
Yes. They should be at the end of the night. So it should be at the end of the night or towards the end of the night to the point where from the time he begins sleeping until the sun rises should be 8 hours. To the point where you arise from bed before the sun rises.
So that would mean like, during the summer period, you go to sleep at like 8 p.m.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing also that we are. How early is Hanukkah in Israel?
I don't know. I imagine probably not as early.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're more north, so I think
we're more north. Yeah. Seattle's way.
It was definitely like 5:30, 5:45 at one point.
Oh yeah.
That was like the earliest I got.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, so I mean, that's another thing we have to take into account here is like, different environmental factors. But yeah, okay, yeah.
I was just gonna say we could ask David.
Yes.
When he gets back.
Yes. Okay, we could probably also look it up online right now.
Yeah.
No, it's not reliable. Okay. Lo yishan adam lo al panav lo al orpo el al tzido. Person should not sleep on his front nor on his back, but rather on his side. But okay, fine.
I think that's actually not a health thing.
Well, that's what I was going to remark is that the fact that the Rambam codifies it here means he's codifying it as a health thing. I know that it's for other reasons also, but he's codifying it as a health thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're not inferring from here. You're inferring from that you've heard it before in other contexts. Yeah. But tefillas halayla al tzad. Okay, I never got this halacha. Okay, and then I have a suspicion, but at the beginning of the night, sleep on your right side. If it's halayla al tzad yamin, on your left. Sorry, left first and then right. Okay, now like, do you like turn in the night? You're supposed to wake yourself up, but it was a thing that the Ashmoris Halila, right? The Ashmoros or Mishmarot, that they would. I remember Rabbi Zimmer was talking about this. Is like they would go to sleep. It was a common thing for them to go to sleep at the beginning of the night, wake up. Like the Talmid Chachamim would do some learning, the Hasidim would do some like morning or the Beis Hamikdash, and then go back to sleep again. So maybe that's what it means. I don't think it means you wake yourself up in the middle of the night to like turn or like control yourself when you're asleep. That's just ridiculous.
You must toss and turn.
Yeah. Below Yishan Samach La'achila, don't sleep when it's close to eating, meaning soon after you eat. Ella Yamtin Ad Achila Kamo Shalosh Shaos or Arba Shaos. You should wait until after eating 3 or 4 hours. Below Yishan, okay, meaning so that's like another argument for intermittent fasting, right? Is have a good 3 or 4 hours after your last eating before you go to sleep. V'lo yishan v'yam, don't take naps. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something that's throughout the country.
Okay.
It is.
I feel like in terms of like turning in the middle of the night, like it's both probably what you said. But when we were saying it before you said that, I was thinking like maybe he means like I feel like it's like kind of a normal thing. Maybe it's not to like just like wake up in the middle of your night.
Yeah,
of the night.
I wake up in the middle of the night every day.
Yeah. And so like maybe he's saying like if you wake up in the middle of the night and you find yourself like on your front or on your back, like just turn to the other side.
Right. Yeah.
Like don't like go back on your side.
Right.
Be on your side. But like I think what you said makes more sense.
Yeah. Well, check this out. I kind of didn't want to look at all the footnotes because then we get lost in the forest. But on the footnote hey there, or for halacha hey, lo yishan adam you shouldn't sleep on his front or on his back, but on his side. So footnote says shashena al hatzad mekale es ha'omes al almud hashidra. So sleeping on your side is like makes light the burden on your spinal column. I think that's what it is. So the reason why I'm seizing upon that now, first of all, it's possible, the Rambam had tons of medical writings, right? So I don't know how much of this stuff on the side they're getting from the Rambam's medical writings, but that would be the example where I don't know what beds they slept on.
Right.
If you're sleeping on
slept on the ground.
Yeah, if you're sleeping on the ground, then I can understand. Yeah, sleeping on your back might be bad, but if you have like memory foam, then maybe sleeping on your back, health-wise, is no different than sleeping on your side.
Right. And we know for sure they weren't sleeping on memory foam.
No. Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe the mun, but just double. Yeah.
Yeah, it should remove that.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So that's that. Oh, I know I was gonna say one more thing. It is weird, by the way. I'm already noticing a thing. Some of these things he gives reasons for, and some of them he doesn't. Like he said about the eating thing, that if you do this, if you take a stroll or exert yourself after you eat, you're going to get bad diseases. Other things he doesn't say, and I don't know what to read into that. Okay, onward. Okay. I hope this is a fast enough pace for you because I know you're going to listen to this. Devarim hamashalshin. That's the test to see if he listens to it. We're not going to tell him that I said that. Yeah. Devarim hamashalshin. Hamashalshalin as b'nei me'ayim. I think that means laxatives. I think that because
turn it up, right?
What was that?
It's like turn them up.
Maybe. I'm just gonna look it up. I think this because of something that I was told.
Oh, actually, yes, it does.
Yeah.
I have a funny story, but
I have we'll see whose is funnier.
Yeah.
Not that it's a competition. Hold on. Yeah. She also has diarrhea or loose bowels.
Yeah.
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 Okay,
I know it from the story.
What's your story?
But I don't want to say it on the recording.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry, Diane.
Okay. So things that have a laxative effect on the guts. Gon anavim uteinim v'tutim v'agasim v'alatichim ume'e kishum ume'e malachachonos. So like grapes and figs and strawberries. Agatim, I don't know. Do you know that one?
No.
They say mulberries. Oh, that's what they say for tutim. Pears. They say pears is agasim. Okay, fine. I'll take them for that.
Avatichim, is that?
Melons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Kishum, I don't know what me'e kishum is. It's a certain, what?
Certain gourds, I guess.
Yeah, so certain types of cucumbers, they say.
No, is that making malachachonos?
So they say cucumbers and zucchini. Yeah, I have no idea, but I don't know. I also don't care.
Yeah.
And if you really care, look at the side. Morus nigra,
I don't care.
Prunus domestica, Citrellus vulgaris. Yeah. All those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw this and I was like,
Yeah.
this whole thing on the side, and I was like, I wonder what's gonna be in the next one.
Yeah. Ochel adam osan batchila kodem achila v'lo ya'arvem im hamazon ela shohem ad sheyitu mi beten ha'elyon. Okay. So he should. Okay. I didn't know. Okay. He should eat. He should eat them at the beginning before he eats the food. He should not mix them with the food, but he should wait a little bit until they depart from his upper stomach. I was only aware that we were supposed to have one. The ochel mazona. They should eat his food.
I wonder. Okay. Speculation.
Yeah.
If like no one was willing to like do like experiments with cadavers, then maybe they thought that people had
Sure.
multiple stomachs because some animals do, like cows have like
Right.
four
That
stomachs.
could be. Yeah. Okay. The ochel. Okay. Devarim shehin ma'amksin as b'nei me'ayim. Things that strengthen your, I guess, intestinal health. Kagon rimonim ufarishim v'tapuchim v'krustliminim. So things that. Oh, so it says. Yeah. So pomegranate, quinces, apple, crustamanian pears should be eaten immediately after the meal in non-quantity. So what does this arrive for?
Dessert.
Psyllium.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like sweets after food.
Yeah, no, but this
Right.
is yeah, fine. But basically, you should
But we eat psyllium with our food.
Yes, we do, but psyllium is not a something that gives you diarrhea. It's
Right.
the opposite.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, but the point is that you should like coordinate the stuff that's good and bad for your.
Yeah, I think it's with psyllium before.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I'll start eating it plain before.
I think not. I think you're not supposed to adopt according.
Oh,
to
you're right. You're right. Yeah.
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 Kishiyurte
Wait,
adam.
Are the things that before and after doing the same thing?
No, first one's laxatives. The second one's
Oh, yeah,
altered
you're right,
laxatives.
you're
Yeah.
right.
So the psyllium vein is gonna be the second category.
Yeah.
Strengthen
it's
the.
done afterwards.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ukishi.
Right after your food.
Kishiyurte adam lechol basar of ubasar behema ke'achad. When a person wants to eat poultry and beef or whatever, behema together, ochel batchila basar ha'of. First, you should eat the chicken. Plain beitim ubasar of. Same thing with eggs and poultry. Ochel batchila beitim. First, you should eat the eggs. That's the answer to the question. What came first? Eggs come first. Basar behema daka ubasar behema gasa. What was it?
What's the best thing here? Is this like the like natural ordering?
Sounds like it. Yeah, it sounds like
It's
there's some sort of.
the lighter food kind of.
Yeah, it happens to be true, and that's consistent with this next one. If you're going to eat thin cattle and thick cattle, I mean, I don't know, fat cattle, whatever. Ochel, I think literally thick cattle. Ochel batchila basar hadaka. First, eat the thin one. Lolam yakim adam davar hakal ume'achar hakai. There you go. First, you should eat the light thing, then the heavy thing. Okay. Yeah, it's an argument against having Jello as dessert. That's the light thing.
Yeah.
You should eat fat beef as dessert.
Yeah.
Bimot sakama ochel ma'achalim hakarim. In the summer, you should eat cold food. V'lo yarbe bitvalin. You should not have a lot of spices. V'ochel as hachometz, and you should eat vinegar. You know where we learned that from? Megillat Rus. You should eat vinegar, and the Rambam says one of the things we learned from you is you should eat vinegar in the summer.
Don't you drink vinegar?
Usually it's a dip or an accompaniment of something. I don't think just straight up drink. That'd be too unpleasant.
When did she do that?
She dipped her bread in vinegar. It's open pasuk.
Totally did not like.
Pork besav. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a shame people don't know.
I know. Most important lesson of Megillas Rus. Uvi most hagashamim. That was not a dig at Megillas Rus. That was a dig at what people get from reading Megillas Rus. Yeah. Uvi most hagashamim ochel ochlin hachamin. And in the rainy season, which is our winter, you should eat hot foods. And increase the spices. You should have a little bit of mustard seed and filthis. What is filthis? It's filthy. Okay. And you should do the same thing in cold locations and in hot locations. And you should never replace according to what is proper for him. Now, this is something also that is important that we get to have a takeaway here. Oh, so what's the takeaway for us, and not in terms of the particulars?
This isn't like a standardized thing. It's based on what like the climate is. Like maybe the
Right.
Shabbos would be a Shabbos for mustard and filthis.
Yes, right.
Whereas I think like the rest of this week is going to be Inaccuracies.
Yeah, right. So I think this is a mistake people make in diets, is that they standardize diets irrespective of where you live and irrespective of what your like constitution is. Like, let's say, like two examples I can think of here, and I'm not saying this scientifically. This is not medical advice. I don't want to get sued. But let's say, like, one of the proofs that they gave for the keto diet early on was the Eskimos or the Inuit, would eat only meat and fat,
Right.
and they'd be totally healthy. Now that's true, but if you gave that diet to someone from the Caribbean, it might be disastrous. Or
Right.
let's say like the Mediterranean diet is a very popular diet now of eating certain foods that Mediterranean-based people eat, but maybe that's just because of their genetic constitution or because of those environments, but it doesn't necessarily transfer,
Right.
Yeah. Okay. 9:1, right? Yesh ma'achal she'en ra'im b'yoser ad maro. This is my favorite halakha in the entire parak. This is the one I quote to people when what do you call it? When they like think that you should just follow the Rambam blindly. So there are very, very bad foods. Royal adam shalolach lan la'olam, and a person should never eat them. Kagon, for example, hadagim hagdolim hamaluchim haishanim, big old salted fish. Okay, tell that to Ashkenazim who eat herring.
Yeah.
V'hagavina hamalucha hayashana, old salted cheese. V'hakmehin v'hapitrios. That's in Gemara Brachot, right? Is that the little birds? Hold on. No, it's truffles and mushrooms. Never eat mushrooms, ever. V'habasar hamaliach hayashan, old salted meat.
I was really happy to hear that.
V'yain migito, young wine. V'tavshil sheshaha ad shenadaf recho, and a cooked dish that has sat until its aroma has wafted away, evaporated. Let's see, until it's cooked food which has been left over until it produces an odor. I saw a headline, scrolling, saw a headline that said that some guy ate pasta that had been left out. It was on Bon Appetit. Some guy had eaten pasta that had been left out for 5 days and died 10 hours later. Yeah, so I think that would qualify here. Yep.
Yeah. This is proof that everything he's saying is true, because this is definitely true.
Yeah. That's a pretty good indicator. I mean, generally speaking, any food that has a really bad or very bitter odor, because that is, I mean, the body's way of telling you that like this is probably going to be poisoned or unhealthy. These to the body are like a deathly venom. Okay, there you go. There are foods that are bad, but they're not as bad. The person should only eat a small quantity and after and very infrequently. And a person should not be accustomed to make his entire diet based on them or to eat them with his food constantly. Kagon, dagim gedolim, big fish, just stam big fish.
Yeah, it's not old and salted.
Not old and salted, yep. Ugvina and cheese.
Also not old and salted.
Yeah. V'chalav sheshaha achar shenechalav arba v'esrim shaos. Milk that has waited 24 hours after it has been milked. Okay, that could be a germ.
They didn't have refrigerators.
Yeah. Ubasar shvarim gedolim utiashim gedolim. The meat of large oxen and large sheep, which is interesting because that's another thing that we do nowadays is we fatten up our livestock on lots of artificial foods and make them like big. Vapol, beans, dashim, lentils, sapir, sapphire. Can't mean sapphire. I mean, I don't think you should eat sapphire, but that's what sapir means.
Isn't sapphire sun here?
What? Snapir?
Isn't it with a nun?
No. I don't think so. That's scales. We had this today.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Cathalis color. Yeah. What does it say? And it's the word sapphire. Literally, it's the word sapphire. It comes from Hebrew.
Sapphire, lapis lazuli.
Yeah.
Countable or numerable.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know what it's saying then. Lechem, saorim, barley bread, v'lechem, matzos.
Maybe people would eat lapis lazuli.
I think that's not food. Lechem matzos, you can eat matzah too much. Hakruv, what is it, cabbage or carob, patzir, leeks, Batsalim, onions, shumim, garlic, chardal, mustard, snow, radishes, kol machalim raimheim. All these are bad foods.
Yeah. So in the beginning, like in like the first half, I was like, maybe he's just saying all the things that can't be refrigerated, so they have like a short shelf life. Like if you don't eat it right away,
that's
it's bad.
reasonable. Yeah.
But then he went to things
Yeah.
that just totally don't need to be refrigerated.
Yeah.
And then like even when he went to bread, I was like, okay, bread gets moldy. It also has a
Right.
short shelf life. But like matzah and like
Remember, their matzahs did get moldy.
Yeah. If you have
Their
a,
matzah's soft.
yeah,
Oh,
that matzah gets
right.
moldy.
Right. But the fact that he says barley bread as opposed to wheat bread,
right.
might mean that it's or also disproves the theory.
What was that, Drew?
What prove is I said carobs. That's what I thought it was. They say cabbage.
I
Yeah.
think it's cabbage.
Yeah.
Like,
Proven. Like cherubs. No, I'm just kidding. Don't try to eat those either.
yeah.
Yeah. So again, this is an example of like who knows what fish he was talking about, who knows why, who knows. Yeah.
Right.
All right, fine. Although one thing that you do see from here also is, and I think this is also important, which I think holds true, that I think I always think it's very bad when people identify foods as these are healthy foods or unhealthy foods. Like fine, you maybe make an argument that like making your diet entirely based off of a certain food is bad, but like health has to do with like systems, not like particulars. And so yeah, if you take poison, is bad. But I like the fact, my point is I like the fact that he does say that there are foods that are like poison that are bad, and then there are foods that are bad just means you shouldn't eat them all the time. Different levels of badness in diets, as opposed to just like labeling these are like never food.
Right.
Only eat very much little, exceedingly little. Will be most of the time, and only in the winter. I don't know why only in winter. About shlobi most of the time.
You shouldn't eat any food in the summer.
No, these foods.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, me'elu. About
Did you
shlobi.
already say that, the first part of that?
Well, now he's saying the seasons about when you should eat it.
Okay.
We most of the shamim, and in the rainy season. About shlobi most of the shamim lo yochol mehen klal, but not in the rainy season. Don't eat them at all. So these are winter food. About kol ha'adashim bilvad ein roy la'achlan lo bimos hachama v'lo bimos ha'gashamim. And beans and lentils alone, it's not proper to eat them all year round.
Specifically them, or
Specifically
them
them.
in isolation?
Oh, I think specifically them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. V'hadiluin. I thought that was gourd.
Yeah, that's yours.
Yeah. Okay. Diluin. You should squash it. Yeah. Gourd. Should oklin mehen at bimosakama. You should eat a little bit of them in the summer. Okay. Yeah, this is the part that I didn't want to read. V'yishma same rhyme. There are foods that are bad. Ve'inan kamo elu, and they're not like these. Oh, so this is the third level of badness. So we've got really bad, kind of bad, and bad. Ve'in of hamayim, waterfowl. I guess that's ducks. Ubnei yonah haftanim, small doves. Batamarim and dates. V'lechem kalui bashemen, and bread roasted in oil. Olechem shenilosh bashemen, or bread that's kneaded in oil. Vasolos shenipu osa kol tarka ad shelo nishar ba reach mursan, and flour that has been scorched, I think, or sifted. No, flour which has been sifted so well that there's no bran left. Oh, so that's like white bread. Yeah. Okay. Fine. So all the bread that a lot of people eat now. Vatsir, brine, vamurias that's like also pickled fish oil, of course. In royal harbos meachilas elu. It's not proper to have a lot of these foods. Adam shu chacham, person with a chacham, viktovish as yitzro, and he conquers his yetzer. V'lo yimashech achar ta'avaso, and is not drawn after his taiva. V'lo yochal mikol hanizkarim klum, and doesn't eat any of these things. Ela im nitzrach lahem l'refuah, unless he needs them for health. Harze gibor. That's a weird halacha. He's considered mighty. This is where the Rambam codifies Ezehu Gibor Hakovish as Yitzra. That's literally what he says.
Yeah, wow, this is like hidden gem.
It's a hidden gem, yes, in the fifth line.
Yeah, take that.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
Yeah, I guess because now we're kind of different from what he's been talking about these things. Is like, there's, I guess he's talking about diet, not in he's not just talking about what the ideal diet is. He's also bringing in what in people's like desires.
Yeah.
We're saying don't eat these things that are really bad.
Yeah.
The things that are like really unhealthy, a little bit like, and like really you shouldn't have, but like there's things that you like are really unhealthy, and then you don't have like you really shouldn't have them, but like you can have them like infrequently in these times.
Yeah.
And then there's the things that are like also like really not good, but like okay. And if all of those were not good choices in like an objective assessment type thing.
Yeah.
But he's not talking in terms of he's talking in terms of the confluence of like health plus human tendencies.
Right. Yeah. All right. I think we have to stop here because I have to go now. But all right. So we'll continue. We'll try to finish this on Thursday. In fact, we should finish it on Thursday.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.